We welcome you to At Home with the Gamecocks. Time to catch up with Jacksonville State baseball coach Jim Case. Hello, sir. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Been a month, right at a month, since the season came to an abrupt and screeching halt. You were at practice the day all this happened when you got the word. I know it was a very emotional time for some of your guys, especially the seniors. Take us back to that day, how you felt when you got the word, and then your guys, seeing them react like they did.
I think my feelings were more almost disbelief. It was almost like you just couldn't believe because it seemingly happened very fast. I know I was talking with Sanford about the weekend. We had even talked about moving the games to our place for the weekend because we had 3 different venues, and we talked about doing that. And then all of a sudden, like you said, we're at practice, and one of the managers came up and handed me a phone. And I looked at it and I was like, maybe this is not real. I didn't really know how to take it. And so we tried to continue on with practice until we figured out that it was. And then I thought, you know what? I better stop. I better let them know. And I did not want this to go without me having a chance to talk to them. And so I'm thankful that we were able to do that. Many of my friends that I've talked to, the way it fell for them, they were not able to meet with their guys. And so it was certainly a disappointment, and there were so many unknowns. For our seniors at that point in time, I think they felt as though it was over, that they may have played their last baseball game. Of course, we know sitting here today, that's not true. They will have an opportunity to come back. In fact, everybody's year was restored. So it's gonna be real different, but I'm thankful that from an NCAA standpoint that if there's been a mistake, we made it in the players' favor. And I think that that's a good way to go. And so I'm really happy for that. And I'm very thankful to work at a university that has said, we will honor those seniors coming back, and we will help them with the scholarship that they were on, because a lot of universities are not doing that. Right. A lot of my friends I talk to, that's not going to be an option.
I know just in the last couple of days, there have been some Power 5 schools that have said, they're not going to do that. And it's individual choice or school choice, like you said. You got a couple of guys that may not be back, depending on what happens with the major league draft. But do you expect that most of those seniors will take advantage of this opportunity?
I don't know if I would say most. I think that, and maybe most is a good word, because I think probably more than half of them will. But certainly we have a couple of guys that will not be back. And then we have one that's waiting on law school to see about that. And certainly that's a great opportunity for him. And I think the important thing to me is, from an NCAA standpoint, from a university standpoint, they do have the option. It wasn't taken away. They do have the option. So I'm grateful for that. Would be glad for all of them to come back. But, there's other problems that come along with that. And that's what I was stressing when I said I'm thankful that they made the mistake in the players' favor, because this is not necessarily a great thing if you're a high school senior coming in next year. It's not the greatest thing for you for that year. So there are some issues that we're going to have to deal with. But you know what? We'll figure out how to deal with them. This is the right thing to do.
I know you talk to coaches all over the country, whether in the league or out of the league or whatever. Do most of the guys feel the way that you do about that?
I think so. I think there's been some real disappointment with the schools that have said, we're just not going to do it. And, we understand, and talking with Mr. Seitz, and I understand that we've got to figure out some things. We got to figure out how to pay for this. It's not like it's just a free thing, and we've got to figure out how to make it work. And that's not going to be easy. And I'm thankful that the administration has said, we're going to figure it out. We'll help you, and we'll figure it out to make it happen for those guys. So, but yeah, it's definitely something that's talked about. And, in those discussions, it's college guys and it's professional guys, because, starting April the 15th, which will be coming up here in a few days, that's the first day those guys get paid. And they're not going to get paid. And so, you look at it and you say, boy, well, they got plenty of money. Well, some of them don't. And so I have friends that are in professional baseball that they're wondering what's going to happen. There's all kind of discussions going on right now. And as we've said, you and I, when we've talked, there seem to be a lot more questions than there are answers. And we're all trying to figure out how to move forward.
I got to go back 2 years ago, the tornado. Are there any parallels from then to what's going on right now as far as athletics and baseball in particular?
Well, there's probably some parallel for sure. The parallel was there's so much disappointment, and I look back to those times, and our city especially was just turned upside down, and certainly everyone associated with the university was affected, and the difference was this time it's all over the country, or basically all over the world. So we're kind of all in it together. That was a small segment. We had a lot of people coming in to help. Now everyone is kind of having to just hunker down in their homes and get through it the best way that we can. So there are some similarities, and there's some disappointment. But we were able to get back going playing at that time really very quickly, quicker than we thought we would be able to. And this was such an abrupt ending. It's hard to describe the feelings, that you have.
You did win the last game, so you went out on a winning note.
Well, and I think we're reigning champions of the league. I don't know if we get rings or whatnot for that, but there's great excitement about that. Yeah, I mean, who knows what'll happen? I've heard so many people. All the coaches are like, yeah, we were just starting to play great, well, yeah, it's easy to say that now. And we had high hopes for our year, and the year was not going the way that we had hoped that it would. But at the same time, we felt like there was good things ahead for us.
All right. I know you and your coaches are meeting during the week, and scheduling, I know you talk about that, recruiting, and I get recruiting never is, but it is a little bit different trying to recruit during this time, is it not?
Yeah, it's been different. In some ways, it's almost good because getting in touch with people is extremely easy. And we've had so many phone calls coming our direction. Guys looking for answers. Not that we have them, but there's been a lot of questions. So. From a recruiting standpoint, I definitely don't think that it's hurt us. If anything, it may have helped us in some ways. But it's just the communication is important. I know from our standpoint, we try to talk to every guy on our team at least twice during the week. So we have the names divided up, and we make phone calls every 3 days, and then on one day we take off. But we want everybody to have an opportunity to talk to us. We're about to get to a point of trying to get guys on together on video. But then on the other hand, we're actually discouraging them from being out doing too much. And that's something you have to watch with these guys, because they are driven and they are young, and they just want to get out and do things. And we're kind of discouraging that.
Is Mrs. Case tired of seeing you so much right now?
Well, she's probably worked. She goes in, we have an office, and she goes in there and works. And I've tried to work from right here on the back porch the majority of the time, but she's put in pretty steady days most days. It has been good. We've eaten lunch together, and if I can swap Dr. Case for Coach Hobbs, that's a pretty good swap in my book. But no, I've missed him and have talked to him a lot. But yeah, she's tried to keep it pretty normal with what she's doing, and we've been able to communicate. Thank goodness for the computers and the phones with our children, and spend time with them on Zoom or Microsoft Teams or whatever it is. But we've spent a good bit of time talking with them and actually playing games with them on the computer.
All right, got to wrap this up. Last thing, is it true your yard's going to win the beautification award for your neighborhood?
I tell you, well, I'm sitting here looking at it right now. I walk out on the back porch and the grass hides because I've many times. And it's amazing how good this place looks for this time of year. And I know the neighbors usually look at me like, man, I wish he would do something. But I mean, first thing I do in the morning, I look out. If there's a pine cone that falls, I go get it and get it up. I want this place looking really good. But no, it's been good. And that part of it, you know, neighbors working in the yards, everybody's around. But hopefully we get through this real soon and get back to normal.
I agree. I hear Cecil barking, so I guess you got to go check on him too now. Thanks, Coach. Stay safe.
Thank you.